everybody. It's the NFT Roundtable, a podcast produced by Black NFT Art. It is Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. And today I'm talking to Andre Oshea, Kwame Brako, and Cory Van Lew. All three of you are artists in the NFT space. You all have super exciting projects going on, and I'm really looking forward to digging into it and also talking about what's going on in the crypto world and the NFT world. So let's do some quick intros. Kwame, can you go first?
Yeah, how are you doing, everybody? My name is Kwame Brako. I also go by the name Dark Myths. I consider myself an Afro-cosmic artist. I'm really into the nebulas, the stars, spirituality. So a lot of my art also has to do with influence in my Western culture, where I'm from Ghana, but also had the privilege of growing up in the United States of America too. So I fuse a lot of the cultural aspects together. And just happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kwame. I'm kind of salty that you let me mispronounce your name all this time.
I never catch it. I mean, it's Kwame.
You're just used to it.
Yeah,
So how do you say it? Kwame?
Kwame,
Kwame.
Kwame,
Kwame.
Kwame. Yeah,
I don't. It's that E. I don't think I can get it right.
me, me
Okay.
as like in
Me.
yeah, just like that.
Kwame.
Kwame. Yeah,
Kwame.
but you also have to kind of sing it out. Kwame.
Kwame.
No, I'm just kidding. But you did it.
Okay. Who's next? Cory? What's up?
All right, what's up? Cory Van Lew. I paint and do graphic design and do a lot of artistic things. I'm also very into philanthropy and pushing the spiritual world a little bit more. And yeah, I'm 30 years old. I live in New York. I've been making NFTs since September, and I've had some pretty decent success in this space, and I'm just helping out other artists navigate this new frontier that we find ourselves on.
Nice. Thank you. Andre?
Hello, everyone. My name is Andre Oshea. I'm a 28-year-old 3D animator based right outside of Atlanta. I've been an active agent in the NFT space since February sometime. And my art is, I would say, spiritual meets futurism in sort of like a contemporary way.
Cool. I have talked to all of you in different ways, whether it's on the phone or through social media or Telegram or whatever, and it's really cool to be able to gather and talk and hang out. So I'm excited. Let's talk about what is going on in the crypto space. So Ethereum just hit 2,300. I think today it was at 2,370 something.
Incredible.
What do y'all think about this?
I'll speak because it sounds like maybe I was one of the earliest in this conversation to have Etherium, and when I got in, it was $300, and so that just like, and I had sold some NFTs, but I had to pay bills, and I tried to save as much of it as I could, so that I would keep watching it rise. I just kept watching Ethereum rise, and then I kind of like made a decent sale just before the NFT boom, and I think it was around 1,300. No, it wasn't that. It was about 700 about that time. $700 about that time. 700, 800, somewhere around there. And so, like, just to see, like, the crazy rise in the last, about 6 months, has been crazy. And I and I've already been like invested in this in the long run. Like I'm a long-term investor, just like in the real world and in the digital world. So I'm just thinking of this in the long run, and so this is just really early still. If you think about like how Bitcoin had gone through its things, so just expect ups and downs, and think about it the long run. Don't be sad that it's down for a week or whatever, because it's like a bouncing ball. It goes up and down and up and down. So that's my quick take on it.
Kwame, I was about to say your name, but I was like,
go for it.
Am I gonna say it right?
I don't think the general public is gonna send you a message about how you pronounce it. But I appreciate the effort. For me, I feel like maybe I'm in the middle between where Cory came into it. Well, Cory's been in for quite some time, but where the boom came in, I'm in the center of it between he and Andre. So from my experience, I came into it when it was at 1 ETH. So just seeing where it's gone to, it's amazing. You can just tell that if they're buy. I'm listening to Cory talk about when he came in at 300, and I'm thinking like, wow, if I would have bought that many ETH at that time, where would it be at this time? And so I've seen it. I'm actually witnessing it double in the past couple of months, and it's awesome because for artists that.
Oh, you just muted
We
yourself.
lost you.
Oh, there we
There you
go.
go.
Is that better?
There we
Okay.
go.
There you go.
So for artists too that maybe have made some sales in the past, and maybe they might not be having as much luck now. I mean, I'm sure they're looking in their wallet like, wow, okay, I can survive and eat, a little more. And I think it's a great thing because, I'm witnessing artists be able to live off of this and pay bills or last minute things come up. So I think it's pretty tough what's happening, and what's really driving it is really the artists and the collectors, if you think about it, because in order for the value to go up, you have to have this much investment. And so the artists are pushing it, they're driving with the gas fees, with the artwork, the collectors are coming in as well. So it's just it's just a synergy of work that's just happening here, and I'm interested to see how it does in the next several months as well. But just more so like just kind of thinking of how it's been for Cory since he came in that, and he's seen it grow from this, from that point to this point. But we're watching it grow from this to whatever happens in the next several months to the year.
Andre, when you sold your first piece, do you remember what ETH was valued at?
Yeah, when I sold my first couple pieces, I think it was all within like that week that it kind of crashed. It was at like 18, and then it crashed to 14, and I kind of sold some pieces then, and ever since then it's been like on the rise. And kind of what I think is kind of interesting is I think some people are saying that like there is a crash or a bubble burst or whatever, because it looks like the value of the prices is going down. But 0.5 ETH now is worth something dramatically different than it was even 6 weeks ago. So even if it looks like the value of pieces are going down, the value of pieces are actually like the monetary, like the actual like USD that people are receiving is still going up.
So actually, I looked at some articles before we started, and I think that the crash you're referring to is the fact that the number of NFTs getting sold and like the volume of sales and the average value of the artwork has gone down, but those numbers are in US dollars. It's not in ETH. So
yeah,
example,
I think.
So I have here.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna read a quote real quick. So it says the average price for an NFT sold this week was 70% lower than what it was in late February. This is in spite of the dollar value of ETH. And then there's another one. It says in mid-February, the peak price was 4,000, and earlier this month,
that's like a median price for what people were receiving, 4,000.
Yeah, the peak median price, the peak average price, and then at the end of April, in early April, the median price was 1,400. So it went from 4,000 to 1,400, and that's a 70% drop in the average price.
Okay, so what I was gonna say was something that I've learned from my short time of being in this space is that is to mostly think of the value in the terms of ETH and the number of ETH, not the dollar amount, because most of the people that have lots of money, I guess you could say, in this space, they think that way. They think of the cryptocurrency terms. They think of how many ETH it costs, not how many dollars it costs, just because of the liquidity of the cryptocurrency. And when I was first starting, I thought of dollars USD, and I wanted to get what I was getting paid for my pieces, my paintings in real life, and so I priced my work at that rate. Well, if I would have priced more as an ETH, I think maybe could have gotten more, or it just makes more sense now when I think of it as in ETH terms, just because of the way that things fluctuate. And so like when you're like, well, 1 ETH is 1 ETH always, but yes, it's it's worth more in USD, but 1 ETH is always 1 ETH in cryptocurrency. So when you think about it like that, that's what these guys are thinking about. And so, the whales, and I guess most of them, you could say, are thinking in these terms. So I think it's valuable to think in these terms as well. But also, I mean, when you gotta, exchange your money and pay bills. Hopefully we don't have to do this for too much longer, but when you have to exchange for USD, yeah, you got to think about USD. But I have it's eased the anxiety to think about it in ETH terms for me. So I encourage to try it.
Yeah, and just you saying that, I'm thinking this because right now my headspace is thinking in dollars, but always trying to translate it ETH. So I'm almost curious as to how you switched your mind over into thinking of ETH, or what steps did you take to kind of just set your mind at it because you're kind of it's almost like looking at a different language.
Yeah, so I'll say I'll just kind of put an example. I sold a piece for 2.5 ETH, which was like $1,000 when I sold it. But then I sold another piece for like 1.5 ETH, which was like 679 when I sold it, or something like that. But now, when you look back, 1.5 ETH is pretty decent when you sell it. But at the time, it was only $679. But 1.5 ETH now, that's pretty respectable to sell a piece in this moment, in this current space. So that's, and that was like one of my earlier pieces, one of my first few pieces. I was trying to figure out things. So I look at it in that sense, like, oh, that wasn't that bad to sell that piece for 1.5, because later down the road, when ETH was, worth a little more, that 1.5 looks like a few $1,000s or a couple $1,000s now, So that's how I looked at it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I would say, like, with my experience where converting, like, thinking from dollars to ETH, having more transactions with ETH adjusts your mind to understanding the value of it. Like, the more sales I got, the more I understood what ETH meant in my wallet. And the more pieces I collected, I kind of better understood ETH again. Like, how much ETH do I spend versus how much ETH do I earn is different than how much USD do I earn versus how much USD do I spend.
Yep.
Wow, that's okay. Which sounds like that's pretty much blockchain thinking. Why everything is even it's not the value doesn't go up or down. That sounds good. I actually get it. It sounds like a practice to definitely get into early, especially early in the game.
I feel like it makes sense, but my mind has not fully uh, wrapped. It's not. I haven't fully wrapped my mind around it. It's gonna take some time. Um, but I think what you're saying, Corey and Andre, makes a lot of sense, and it's uh, it's it's always measuring ETH based on U.S. dollars when you're talking about essentially like two different economies. Um, it doesn't make sense, and it's eventually going to become more natural to just look at ETH as ETH and US dollars as US dollars.
Yep.
It's
And
completely separate things.
and
Exactly.
something that they both in common said was you really get to understand it once you actually start using it, investing in it, and collecting and selling, which that's the way I'm starting to learn. Whereas, if I'm looking at gas fees and whatnot, it's starting to make sense. But I feel like the more I do in terms of collecting as well as selling, then I'll be able to just kind of sink mind in there. So I think that's when it'll click for you, when you actually are hands on with it. It's kind of like metrics, the international metric system in US, and trying to figure the two
Right,
different pieces parts.
right. That's a
Yeah,
good
kind of like
analogy.
helped me realize money is just really funny. Money is really funny.
Right.
Exactly. Funny money.
Funny
Like
money
when
is really
sometimes people will
funny.
say like ETH and crypto is fake money, but I'm like, how is it any more fake than USD? Like,
Exactly. We spliced the $1 bill into pennies down to the penny. You know what I mean? And that's no different than spending 0.01 ETH on something. So
I mean, and
same
and
thing.
and you look at history, people dealt in gold coins and nickels, or gold coins and silver. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, for
that's what you
bartering
had.
even too.
That what?
Even before then, like people were bartering. I'm just saying, like
Exactly.
value has just been assigned to things regardless. This is where value is assigned now.
Because of the digital movement. It's a digital world now, so it's taking the transition from the Stone Age to new digital. Everyone, we're using our phones to our as digital wallets to scan, get our food and whatnot. So it all makes sense, and once everyone catches on that, you know, yeah, digital currency is just what's happening now.
Cool, cool. So I want to get into the projects that y'all are working on. Lots of exciting stuff. So let's start with Andre. I know you had a drop with Illmind, the producer, last week. So who is Illmind and how did this project come about?
Yeah, Illmind is he's a Grammy award winning music producer. Um, he's worked with Kanye and J. Cole, Drake, Uzi. Um, I believe he produced 4 songs on the Hamilton soundtrack and I think another song on the Moana soundtrack. Um, so he's just been sort of a seasoned producer in the game, and he's actually been a big time innovator when it comes to crowd interaction. He's done a lot of he started a lot of initiatives for producers, and he got into the NFT space by making like beat packs as NFTs. And so just by going through the community, we sort of just kind of got linked up and started talking and just started talking about the possibilities of, collabing on a piece and what it could be. And everything kind of came like to a head pretty quick and pretty organically. And I think he sent me some beats. I probably listened to him for a couple days and must have been like from our initial conversation 2.5 weeks later, I think the project was already out and released.
That's pretty fast. That's pretty quick turnaround time.
Well, it sounds fast, but when you're in the NFT space, that felt like 2.5 months.
Yep. Rendering and all that
Yeah.
craziness.
That's dope. That's dope. And then you have a drop coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So tomorrow, I'm doing a drop with Netflix. They recently released a docu-series called "This Is a Robbery," and it's about the biggest art heist in human history. I think they stole 13 pieces worth $500 billion. I think it was like $500 billion or something like that. It was something outrageous.
I think it was 500 million.
500 million. I'm sorry. I
okay.
may have over embellished, but
billion, million, same thing.
Same difference. I mean, I'm thinking in ETH, right? So, but they reached out to 13 artists to reimagine the 13 pieces that were stolen, and my piece is called Three Mounted Jockeys. That was the original piece, and mine is called Three Ghosts. We had to change the name a little bit, but so I'll be posting it. I don't know. I might post it tonight.
Do it. I'm curious now.
Oh wait, well, I don't know.
Thought he was about to do it. That's cool. Did they? So I'm curious of how it happened. The interaction with Netflix. Is this something they posted and then somebody reached out like, hey, you know?
So they reached out to us directly, actually, and that started moving very quickly too. I think from the time they reached out to us, I think we got contracts signed within like the next couple days. So again, the NFT space, it moves quick. And, you know, I would say that people are being aggressive in this space. Like, people want to make NFTs and people want to collab. Like, they will reach out to you. If you are open, like, you will have opportunities to work with a lot of people in this space.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Phone
doing
calls
like
don't
goats
stop.
right now, but
What'd you say?
I said I'm not doing like the goats right now, but the fact that I'm sitting in here with you guys, I'm next up. I'm just
Bro, we all know you're next up.
Yeah, it's
you're the right now, bro. They just don't know about you yet.
Yeah, just wait till they know about you and it's over. You've got the accolades to prove that you're worthy.
For sure. You're on your way, Kwame.
Thank you.
I think what's also interesting about the Netflix drop is that they for those who are listening, I work with Andre, and so I had some insight into the conversations, and they had been looking for artists, and they didn't have a lot of time to plan it, so they had found an artist in the Black NFT art feed who they wanted to reach out to, but that person had in their profile not accepting commissions, and so they decided not to message them because they were just in a rush and they didn't want to have to, like, you know, worry about this person not coming through or not being responsive. So I thought that was really interesting, and I think it's just something for people to think about. It's like, when you may be so busy you're not accepting opportunities, but does that mean you also miss out on big opportunities? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a gamble you got to pay, or a gamble that you're playing right there. If you don't allow yourself to be available, yeah, of course things are gonna pass you right by. But doesn't mean that there's not gonna be other ones around the corner. So.
Yeah, for sure.
You probably learned hard lessons when you missed that opportunity, though, right?
Yeah, but if you were meant to miss it, you were meant to miss it.
That's true. That's true.
I agree, and I think there's something valuable about living in a space of like abundance and feeling like there's so much that missing one is not a big deal. I like that mindset.
Exactly. I've said no to plenty of things, and there's been other things right around the corner.
Yeah, but then you have to though because you have to be
You have
mindful
to.
of your space and energy too,
Yes.
because so many people will want to. They see your work and they all want to reach out, but you're one person. You can't say yes to everyone, and I feel like the nice part about it is when you connect to the people that you want to work with. Not to say that they're people you see their work and you wouldn't help them out. It's just it's a energy, and everybody has a certain vibration that there are enough artists out there to find your flow and just connect with in incredible ways.
So, so Corey and Kwame, you have a collab that's dropping soon. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and say a little bit
Go
of
ahead.
something about it.
Go
All right,
ahead.
and then let go. Actually, before I do, maybe it's best to just say how it happened. So from
Yeah.
my end, I was fresh and new into the space. I think it had been maybe just a couple days, and I think Corey caught wind of one of the works. He probably clicked on my profile and saw my works on my Instagram and hit me up like, "Wow, I really like what you're doing. Let's talk sometime." This is before I knew who anybody was and whatnot, but uh, just the fact that he reached out and he really had liked the work that I did. I was appreciative, so I just said, "All right, yeah, let's talk." And little would I know in a few weeks, little did I know who I would be working with, and speaking with, in the likes of Andre as well as you, Iris, and the magic just went on from there. I looked at his work. We had a common interest, which was, admiring the the Afro texture as well as the black woman and whatnot. So we looked at. I actually did a few versions and just kind of sent it his way. But as I was sending it to him and he's showing me his work, then I would get more drawn into his work, and I want to figure, okay, how do I put his personality into what I'm doing, and this is the very very first collaboration I'm hit up on, so I'm understanding how fast things are moving, and I want to make sure that it lines up. So it was a really good experience because I got a chance to dig more into his art, and you end up realizing as you get into someone's art, you're like seeing all the little details and features they have, and I started I started to think about, okay, he got this nice little chisel on the cheekbone and whatnot, and everything everything just started to come
Hey,
together.
Corey be having them crispy too.
So, I was out
I
there just
like how
trying to
you
use my
guys
little.
recognize it.
Yeah, I feel like when you're collabing, that's what you do. You find like certain things that stick out, because if you were to see, and I think it might be cool to show that later, if you would see the first time it came out, you would see a lot of my style in it. But then you would see it through our communication, you would see it transition into, the features in that, and then it was that golden moment. So we're still
Yeah.
working on it, but before we take it there.
Yeah, so I could kind of speak a little how it came to from my end and a little about my part of the collaboration. And so, yeah, Kwame came into a room. I believe I was on stage, and it was like one of my, I guess, like my first week of being like on stage in Clubhouse as often as I am now. And so, I think there was, people coming in and sharing their work. And I was listening to Kwame. I clicked on his profile and went and saw that he had been making these awesome 3D combs, and I've never seen like these Afro pics in the way that he was creating them. So I was like, dude, you have your own thing. Like, this guy's got his own thing. He's like, and they look cool as fuck. I want one. I want one. I want my own. And so I hit him up. I was like, dude, like, I love your work. Like, let's talk. Let's just talk. And we started talking, and told him like, I want to get a piece. I want to help you out in the space, like, put you in the talks with the right people, and get you tapped in with the right community, the Black NFT art space. And I believe I pointed him to your direction, Iris, and then we got we kept in contact, and I think the first night we were talking, I was talking about doing a collaboration with him just because I really loved his work, because we just kind of like hit it off, and our energy was kind of like real similar as he spoke about the Afro texture. I want to bring a positive light to the texture of our hair. I feel like we maybe our ancestors growing up, maybe our more recent ancestors growing up, I feel like they weren't able to show their hair off in a natural liking, and they're not they're kind of like afraid to just show it off in a natural way. And more recently we see more dreadlocks and people wearing their hair naturally, and I want to bring a lot more light to this. And so I thought his combs were a beautiful way to just kind of like say, hey, Black people hair texture is beautiful, and these are like these exquisite combs that you could like be lavish and kind of like have if you really want to be like that. And so I wanted one of my own, and we started talking, and Kwame's like, yeah, he started putting we went back and forth ping-ponging ideas, and we put his spin on it, and I gave him a little more flavor, and then I really wanted to have more involvement with the collaboration part of it. So what I decided is that I'm going to take his, once he finishes this piece, he makes physical editions of these 3D combs, and I wanted to get the physical edition in my possession and take a photo of a very large, symmetrical afro with the comb inside of it, and it'll be mostly afro, and then the comb like lodged inside of the afro, and that'll be like what I'm painting on the canvas in my signature colorway. And that's just to really like make the whole collaboration full circle and like project this message that I really want to project to the people, is that the afro and curly textured hair is beautiful, and that's the main idea of the project. I haven't really gone too far. We haven't gone too far into like the logistics of things just yet, and like exactly when it's going to drop, because I don't feel like things like these should be rushed. You can't rush these moments of excellence within our community. So I've allowed him to take his time, no rush, do what you got, do your thing on there, and also, release your work in the meantime. So there hasn't been too much of a time constraint, but I think that we are going to be trying to release in the next month or two. Just, depending on when I get the physical and when I can paint it, we'll be, it's kind of in the air. So probably 2 months.
Yeah.
But there's no time constraint on this.
Exactly. And that's what I appreciate about Cory's, that he has given this sense of ease, like, look, no rush, do your thing. There's no FOMO or whatnot. So as I get to even, advance in my skills doing other different things that I'm trying to test and experiment, I can actually bring that into it. So, I feel like this is going to be one of those that it's really going to be great, because, we do have this discussion about Black arts in the community and how hard it is to really get it seen or noticed. But I think it's going to be a powerful piece as it bridges and that story is being created. So I'm even looking forward to how he puts that piece together too.
Exactly. Like we're creating our own story behind it, and it's just going to help project it into the next realm. My whole thing, like, I have a big saying called divine timing, and I think that's going to come into play with this piece. It's going to hit at the right moment where we need it the most.
Exactly. I wonder if Black Panther will come out at that time too.
Who knows? Yeah, it might just be like that perfect
it'll
time where the stars align.
It is. I think that's, and in fact, that's what I feel is all happening with this whole movement. It's just alignment. So I believe in that perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So Cory, you also have a drop coming up on Saturday with Jake Paul. So how did that come about, and what is the actual piece that's being released?
All right. So I've been crusading in Clubhouse for the Black community and trying to be like one of the leading NFT artists in the space, and just being like the positive, person I am. So I've been getting on stage and spreading my message. And I had met up with Farouk and Paolo, who are big, I guess, golden bridge makers in the space. They put people in the right place at the right time, give people a voice in Clubhouse who maybe are a little scared to get on the stage and raise their hand. They just pull them up there because they know they maybe had a conversation with them one time and remembered like how cool of a person that they are, and someone like me, I was really scared to like get on the stage. But anyways, we made friends, and Paolo happened to be Jake's old manager back in the day, like when he was coming up on YouTube. And so I was on stage with them one night, and I believe Jake was buying a bunch of art with Blau or something like that. And Jake was about to leave the room, and Paolo was like, "Hey Jake, before you leave, I want you to check out my guy Cory Van Lew's artwork. He does some really dope stuff. I want to link you guys together, so you guys can talk." And Jake looked at my profile photo. He's like, "Hey, I like your pink suit." And then that was what he left. I was like, "Oh, thanks, cool." He left, and then I had the floor, and I got to like share my stuff. But Jake left, and so he said he was going to hit me up, and I was like, "All right, cool. Let's see if he hits me up." And then I guess like 12 hours later, he hit me up on Instagram. He's like, "Yo, I want to do like a collab. I really love your work. I'm doing this release for my fight with Ben Askren, and this is like my idea, and let's get on a call." And so we got on a call, we started talking, and I kind of like, we just got to tell each other about each other and stuff, and I explained to him my process of my work, and he thought that it would be a cool idea to depict the moment of his knockout of Nate Robinson. So what I did was ask for some photos for reference that he owned to for me to depict, because I work from photos, and he sent me a bunch, and I picked one of them, and I was like, all right, this is a good composition, and I could work with this. So I took the photo and brought it and went through my process, and so basically it's a blue face moment of Jake Paul knocking out Nate Robinson, which is very touching for me because it's a white man knocking out a black man. But in my artwork, all the people are blue, so it's just a man beating another man. And so, and in this moment in real life, there was no fans, but in my version, I depicted a whole audience watching. So everybody's watching. So just like kind of like put that in your head that everybody's watching these type of moments, and they're taking flashings. Like, there's flashes too, so they're watching with their cameras and documenting it. This moment that we all go through as black men, to kind of like have PTSD of a white man putting us down in some way, shape, or form, whether it's beating us physically or with their words, or just like stopping us from coming up in the world. And so that's kind of like my take on the moment, but it's also a moment of, somebody who is proving people who say that they can't do something, and he's actually doing it, and he's making a name for himself. He's actually winning. I've had to deal with that in my life. People always tell me, you need to get a job. You're not going to be an artist. You're not going to be successful, and then proving them wrong. So I think that was like my main connection between me and him, and like I had to like get past the whole like color thing myself, because the whole actual moment in real life was kind of like black people needed that, because of the Black Lives Matter was going on when this fight kind of happened, and Nate, we needed a black man to beat a white man in that moment per se. But now that I look at it, I'm like, it really wasn't that. It was more so somebody, proving the naysayers. So that's my collab with him. It's coming out. What he's doing is he's working with like 4 or 5 other artists, I believe. And as soon as he knocks out Ben Askren, which I believe is going to happen, he's going to get into the locker room and get on Clubhouse, and we're going to drop the NFTs. Origin Protocol is making a website for him, and dropping it on his own website, and I believe there will be open editions and auctions going on. I'm not sure which one mine falls in, but there'll be open editions and auctions going down. and all the artists are getting paid. The painting that I made for him, he's paying me separate for that as well. And I think that he's doing it the right way. I wouldn't have done this project if he wasn't like helping out artists, and he's really like projecting us like by tagging us in his posts, and like I've gotten a fuck ton of followers from it. So I think that it's not like just a cash grab. He's like really like trying to immerse himself in the space, and so I back that, and I've gotten to know him on like a more personal level besides like the what we see in media. So I think that was also cool as well.
Yeah, that's really dope. That's really dope. So again, for everyone who's listening, the drop is going to be Saturday, April 17th, right? On
Origin Protocol. He's got I think he's got the link in his bio on his Instagram or something, or it will be there. It's like a Jake Paul NFT drop.io or something like that. I don't know, something.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's his own platform. It won't be like on Nifty Gateway or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure you'll be able to use credit cards and all of that stuff. So.
Okay, dope. And then you have a 420 project coming up.
Yeah, there's I have these late night talks with a bunch of artists where it's small rooms and we all just like chill. It's called Tech and Chill. Usually at like past 10 o'clock Eastern, we just go in there and kick it, and all of us thought it would be a good idea to, we're all potheads and we all like to smoke, so we all thought it would be a good idea to pay respect. I didn't hear of any 420 NFT drops, so we thought we would have one collectively as a group. So one of the amazing women that hang out with us in the group, named Sage Storm, she decided that she would take on the opportunity to curate the show and like kind of like set everything up. And basically what we're all doing is minting on our own platforms, like however we want as artists. And she put together a website where the NFT photos or animations will be on that website, and you just click on them and it'll take you to the link for wherever platform it's on, right? So she's setting all that up, and what we're doing with the whole theme of the show is weed nugs. At first it was going to be everybody was going to depict a weed nug in their own likeness and how they create, but we kind of like expanded that to more than just weed nugs, and you can kind of make it 420 themed, like kind of thing. So there's a lot of really cool artists and unknown artists that are in this show, I would call it. And so it's going to be cool. It's an interesting thing to try out. It's like we started out as like this cool community on Clubhouse, like of maybe 30, 40 people max, and only like 20 people in the rooms at a time maybe. And so it's just kind of cool to see, like, and I'm always hanging out in there, and they're just like, I always think that's so cool because, like, I guess I'm a level up above them.
Yeah, that's
whatever that means.
Like
But whatever that means. But they always think it's so cool that I'm hanging out with them. So I wanted to help promote that as much as possible.
That's really dope.
That's really cool that you do that too, because I've seen you in those rooms, Corey, and it's like, yeah, I mean, say it is you level up, but you remember where you came from, and I'll peek my head in there, and it's like these folks they're just pumped up to have your energy in there, and they're like, what's up, and that's cool that you take the time to do that. Mm-hmm.
We're all people at the end of the day. I've always, hanging out with rappers and stuff, whenever I found out, like, they're just normal people. They're just, we're all normal people, and I want the people to have the same feeling that I had with the rappers. So it's kind of like, they're just normal people at the end of the day. And, you can learn something, and that could go a long way with those people. Like what the rapper shared with me, that energy, like, it goes a long way with me. So now I'm spreading it. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So before we close out, I wanted to go around and have each of you share what you're most excited about that's coming up in the next few months to the next year. So one thing what, as much as you can tell us about it as possible, and why are you excited for it? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first and let the goats do theirs, because by the time they're done, it'll be like, oh, yours.
Whatever.
And all the listeners will be like,
if
all
you
right,
set
all
the
right.
expectation, you're gonna be disappointed with my response.
You're gonna be laughing at this recording like months from now.
Right.
But the people out there, that you got to build the anticipation up. I don't want them to walk out the theater as soon as these guys do it. No, but for real, I'm just more excited with I'm doing this Afro Cosmic series. I feel like I found my place that I've been searching for. I didn't want to really box myself in just Afro-centric art, but I've been exploring, and I found that I'm really driven to this Afro Cosmic space, which is, I feel like I'm actually pioneering it because I don't see the hashtags anywhere. And I'm getting drawn to other artists that are doing cosmic art, and it's I see a kind of a nice little following with that as well. So I'm excited to actually bring some really cool cosmic art, and I'm starting that with this piece of art also. Sorry, it's the Asase Yakum art, and you see that I've been showing little samples with these clouds. I'm kind of developing that sort of structure, just using space and clouds, and really putting myself in that Afro-cosmic space. So that's what I'm pumped out to show what comes out of it in the next month.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I'll go. So I'm really excited to see the evolution, I guess, with use case of NFTs, and see how people, artists, galleries, collectors, or dive into this medium, because now the art world just dove in, and now we're starting to see, these galleries pop up and things like that. So I'm just interested to see, the VR aspect, the XR aspect, all of these different ways of immersing ourselves with the metaverse and the physical world. So that's what I'm most excited about. I've gotten so much more technology around me in my now than ever in my life, and it's really crazy. I'm like, I got cameras, I got speakers, I got computers, I got so many screens around me.
He's not leaving the house.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's really interesting. So I want to see where that goes.
Everybody's building their own like studio, essentially. With all this equipment. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
And the number one need is video cards. I don't know if you guys are struggling on video cards, or you got what you need. Do you guys have what you need?
I'm in the market for a 3090. If we all know a safe source.
Yeah,
Actually,
you gotta buy the complete. You gotta buy a whole computer. That's the way to get it
You know
nowadays.
what?
I feel like.
I actually found like the dopest, most legit way. I'm not gonna do it, or else everyone's gonna jump. So I will talk to you guys, so you guys can get your cards first, and then after it works and you see it's legit, we can maybe let others know. But it's totally legit, and I can't wait to get my card in.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell
Good to
me
know.
because I need a card.
I actually found out from a miner, a guy that's doing cryptocurrency mining, and he's been using this technique to get all these cards, and he finally told me, and I said, all right, cool, I'll share it with who needs to know.
Mhm.
Well, I'll go next. I'm kind of surprised. Cory mentioned VR. I'm kind of surprised we didn't talk about it at all so far. We're
Right?
all on VR.
Yeah, I
But
love VR. I got it right here.
It's
next to me.
crazy. It makes everything feel so much different, especially like if you take what you know about the NFT space in reference to like what you know about VR. Like right now is like so
Just a
small
baby.
to what it's gonna be like.
Just a baby. When I put my headset on for the first time and it dropped me into my virtual home or virtual room, I about cried. I was just like, oh.
Which one did it put you in?
I was in like the outdoor like Sonoma,
Yeah, palm
like,
trees.
It's like
the
an
desert,
island.
the desert fucking outdoor
Okay, yeah.
Sonoma vibes, outdoor living
one was
room
fly.
vibes. I was like, oh man, like I was like, yo,
Wow.
why like the whole future just flashed before my eyes. I was like, yo, everything's
Instantly.
gonna be so
It's
amazing.
ridiculous.
Like the next 5 years, the next 10 years, like, oh man, I was like,
Yes.
because I got the same kind of feeling from like a Nintendo 64, like when we kind of like got like some dope like PS1, you know, like those dope 3D graphics
3D
for video games. Yeah, the 3D games. Once those hit, like that was the same kind of feeling. So I know that this is like once like the graphics get even better and the full immersion, the motion sickness, all of that gets better. I think yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you have to
sorry.
get one.
I know. I need to.
I
I've
love
been telling
VR.
all my friends and family about the metaverse, and they're all like, "What is that?" And I don't have a lot of friends that are gamers, so it's like it's just a whole new concept to them. But I've been showing people some YouTube videos, and their like mind is blown.
Like, you know what I actually want to do in the metaverse is, and I need to get into it because I want to build myself like the little Tron bike and just go right around in metaverse and Oculus. Yeah, and I know it's possible, so I can. So
you gotta get the full body tracking.
Exactly.
So you can have like you can walk in a room and it like takes your whole body. Oh man, I've been watching some crazy videos of that. I'm like, yo, full body tracking? What? I need to do that.
Yeah, it's insane, this whole metaverse. I can't wait to dive deeper into it too.
Yep.
Yeah, one of our visions and goals for Black NFT art is to have a studio in Atlanta, or like a lab, I guess, for artists.
I like that term. Lab.
All sorts of like dope equipment and stations, and you know, just like space to really collab and do fun projects.
It's amazing all everything that's happening. So and just like that, that's something we hope to do in Africa, western part of the continent, with all the artists. I'll be heading there hopefully in the next month or two, and that's where I plan to go speak with a few Afro beat artists that actually are pretty known in the community and try and get them known into the NFT world, because I feel like we're seeing what we can do out here, but if I can get what's going on out there in the open too, and also teach some of the technology, I see just this wonderful collaboration bridge between, you know, the diaspora and those abroad, and that's what's happening. I'm in these discussions with Afrobeat artists, other African artists that get into it, and I'm trying to, you know, I'm linking certain people together where they just get to fuse the different cultures, and it's beautiful what's coming up.
Oh yeah, I want to go out there with you, bro. Let me know when
Yes.
you go. I might have to book the flight to go with you, bro.
Yes.
I've never been to the motherland, so it'd be dope.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna change your life. As a matter of fact, since we all got Oculus, I do have some property on Super World. We can like jump in. I'll give you a tour out there. I'll give you my yeah, it's crazy.
Super World, is that an app? Like, do I have to download that?
Super World app. Yeah, you can actually go on there and buy property. And people are starting to build their like studios and all this crazy stuff. So I actually went on and I bought some a piece on the coast of Ghana. And so you should be able to get in the Oculus, and then I'd give you like my location, and I want to put like a studio right where there's a waterfall in Ghana. So I actually plan to buy that property there and build a studio and say, hey, I'm doing a drop, get your Oculus. We all gotta talk. We gotta talk.
Yeah, I want to see
let's
that.
fucking go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a virtual tour in Ghana to some of the hot spots, and then, you know, the physical one gotta happen. But this is so cool.
That's gonna be the most like exclusive legendary drop. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yo, come to my drop at a waterfall.
Exactly.
In Ghana,
Waterfall
in
studio.
VR.
Yeah, and folks will be like, wow, this place really exists in Africa, and that's how I'm trying to talk with the African community that are interested, to say, hey, you know, we can find ways to get people to have virtual tours in your country so they can actually see what it's like, because it's using Google Map technology to give the 3D, you know, effects of the area. So I'll figure it out, and then I'll get you guys pulled in, and I'll take a tour. We'll take a tour of my village.
Hell yeah.
That's a really cool idea, Kwame. That's awesome.
For real,
Yeah.
for real. Just a little taste of what it's really like.
Exactly. You guys will be ready to board, get out there.
He
But-
gonna just be red pill, blue pill. That's
Right?
the
Which one is it? Yeah, so that would be cool. So I look forward to all of that too.
That's all so exciting. I love this conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm hoping to have all of you back many, many, many times in the future. I'm super excited to be able to bring people together and have these smaller, intimate conversations and share it with the world and teach and bring folks along with us on this crazy, crazy NFT ride. So
Very
thank
crazy.
you. Yes, very crazy. Thank you to our listeners for your support. We appreciate you. You can learn more about Black NFT art at blacknftart.co and subscribe to the Roundtable podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. We will see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, y'all. Stay hydrated.